wanted to talk about negotiating is because so many people come to me and say, I'm just not comfortable negotiating. So there's a lot of little strategies and tips that I've learned along the way that have really helped to make things easier for me when I'm dealing with companies or clients. And one thing I'd like to say about negotiating is I'm using the word for purposes of this video, but I really don't like to use that word because I really see a negotiation as more of a conversation. It's more like, let's have a conversation and talk about what you want and talk about what I want, and then let's come together and decide on what is going to work for everyone. And if you can go into a meeting with that mindset, that you're really just having a conversation to see how everyone can work together nicely, then you'll feel better about it. But here's 3 things you can do to prepare for your conversation negotiation. And the first one is, before you even have your meeting or your phone call or your discussion, your conversation with the company, I want you to take a little bit of time and Google the company and the person that you're going to be dealing with and get a little background information on them. What you're looking for is a feel for what the company is about, a feel for what's important to them, a feel for what's important to their customers, so you have a better understanding of them. You also want to research the person or people that you're meeting with. And it's helpful if you can find something online. Well, for one thing, if you can find their social media accounts. And just read a little bit of the posts that they posted so that you feel like you know them better. Also, if you find any articles that were written about them online, and that will give you some insight into their background. And why do you want to do this? Well, because it gives you something to talk about when you meet with them so that you can better connect with them. Because a negotiation is going to go better for you if you have a personal connection with the people you're talking to. It can't all be business. There needs to be a little bit of curiosity about the person. For example, you look someone up online and you let's say you're meeting with the art director of a company that you're trying to put a project together with. And you do some research on the art director and you find out that a couple years ago they did something really impressive. They put together some kind of campaign with some charity. So when you have a meeting with them, you say, yeah, I was online and I was reading about how you spearheaded this program and you raised all this money for this charity. That's really great. Gosh, that must have been a lot of work. How was that difficult? So you ask them a question about something they achieved in the past, and an open-ended question, so then they'll tell you a little bit about it, and then they'll open up and they'll warm up to you. Things go better for you when people warm up to you. The second tip to prepare for a meeting is to know what you want. A lot of people don't know what they want. They might say, yeah, well, I want to make a lot of money off of this. That's not knowing what you want. Specifically, how much money do you want? Specifically, what do you want to get out of it besides the money? Maybe you want to get notoriety. Maybe you want to make something important happen that helps humanity. Know exactly what you want before going into it. And then the third tip is to know what your deal breaker is. And this is really important too. So if you have an idea of, okay, so there's a couple deal breakers. One is you might have an idea of what the company wants you to do. And so you know how much work and the value is that you put into it. So you might know that you're going to ask for a certain dollar amount. Let's just say, for the sake of making up an easy number to work with, $10,000. This is going to be a project, and you know you want to ask for $10,000. But you also know that they might be working with a tight budget. And so in your mind, you might think to yourself, okay, I want $10,000, but if they have a budget that doesn't enable them to pay me $10,000, what's the amount of money I will take before I walk away? And it might be $8,500. So you have that number in your mind when you go in there. You're going to ask for $10,000, but if they go under 85, you say, I just can't do it, I'm sorry. And that's your walk away number. But there are other things that might make you want to walk away as well. If you are a well-known artist and your work is very well-known and very distinctive, your deal breaker might be that your name has to be on everything. And they might want you to be anonymous. So your deal breaker is that, right? You walk away if they won't give you clear credit for it. Another deal breaker for us is always the copyright issue. If a company wants to own all copyrights to the artwork, we walk away from it. And Drew and I actually did that quite a few years ago when this was many years ago, we were approached by a company, one of the biggest toy companies in the country, probably in the world, and they wanted Drew to do this giant project. And the money was very good, but they wanted Drew to give all the copyrights up, and we weren't willing to do that because it was going to compete with everything we were doing in the future. So sadly, we had to walk away. That was our deal breaker. It is very challenging for some of us to act like a business person. That's okay. That is okay. You don't have to be this incredible business person. Take that pressure off of yourself right now. All you have to do is just be real. Be honest. Learn how to be direct. And this was the hardest thing for me. And I've gotten so much better at this. I have found that when it's hard to talk about money or terms and contracts or terms and just what you're agreeing to, the way to deal with that uncomfortable feeling is to just go, okay, you pull back and you think for a moment, I'm just going to let this person know what's important to me. And I'm going to say it in plain terms. And it's a practice. You get better at it. It's learning how to communicate what's important to you. So if you're uncomfortable acting like a business person, then learn how to act real. Be a real person and say, okay, it's really important to me that I cover all my costs and I make $1 off of this. So this is what it takes for me to make this worth my while financially. Now that's just being real, right? It's really important to me that my name appears on everything because I'm an artist and I want people to know that it's my art. That's not being a business person, that's being real. So just practice being real. And then the business stuff follows. Someone else commented, I love all the information you are giving. I'm going to order your book. And so thanks for bringing out my book because this is my segue into sharing. This is my book called Art, Money, and Success. And that is exactly what my book is about. I teach you how to make money and how to be successful with art. You can find it on Amazon.com. Just do a search of Art, Money, Success or my name. And it's been on the Amazon bestseller list for over 12 times in the last 10 months. I'm really proud of it because it took me years of experience to write this book. This book came from me being in the trenches. of coming out of my little shell and learning how to sell my husband's art and learning how to sell our services to people and companies. We learned all this the hard way. The School of Hard Knocks. And the School of Hard Knocks is actually the school where you really learn how to do this stuff. You learn what works. You learn the hard way. You get embarrassed sometimes because you do stupid stuff, and I've done so many stupid things. And I'm happy to say I'm doing less and less stupid things because, hey, I'm getting older and wiser. And now I'm passing on a lot of this stuff to you all because I want to, you know why I do this? I do this and I've been teaching this stuff long before I had a book to sell. I've been teaching this stuff for a really long time because I want to see artists be more successful. When we create a successful scenario for all artists, that's when all artists wins. And that's when we all win. And I think we all should help each other. We all should share information, share what we're charging, and lift each other up. Because if more artists get wise about helping each other and making more money, together we all do better. I really believe that. So that's what drives me to do this work. Okay, one more question by my good buddy C.A. Villamy. If the client is being evasive, is there a polite way of asking, what are you not telling me? Or really pushing them on an issue? You know what, this is such a good question because I do run into this. Where a client is being quiet. They're just sitting there staring at you. Oh, I hate that. I hate that because you don't know what they're thinking. So here's what you can do. You can say, what are you thinking right now? And then you be quiet and don't say anything. And if they don't answer, say, well, let me rephrase that. What do you think about me doing this for you in exchange for this? And then you be quiet. And you wait and just pull it out of them. Keep asking open-ended questions until you get them talking. And never interrupt your client. As a matter of fact, when your client speaks, you listen and you pause. When they're finished speaking, don't jump in. Take a breath because they might add more to it. And the more your client talks, the better it is for you. The more information you get, and with more information, you can better close the deal. Get them talking. I close this with, let's practice being real with each other. Like I'm being real with you guys. I'm doing these Instagram live. I'm totally on the spot and I'm getting feedback and it's really awesome. But being on the spot has forced me to be real and to be honest and to be okay with showing who I really am and like learning to be okay with that. And this is really helpful in business, being okay with who you are when you're in a meeting with a client. Your client doesn't expect you to be perfect. Your client's not perfect. They don't know much more than you do about what you're offering to them. It really is like a, it's just really, when you have meetings or negotiations, it's really just a matter of figuring things out together. Thank you all for watching this video, and to the many people who have bought my book and have left me reviews on Amazon. I really appreciate it. Last I checked, I have 120 5-star reviews on Amazon, which just boggles my mind. I never thought that would happen. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate it because if you weren't here, I'd be talking to no one, and so I wouldn't be here either. So thank you. Thank you, thank you.